I'm Dr. Gray Parrot, and welcome back to the Animal Truth Lab. Today's star is a little fish you've probably never heard of, but the moment you hear its name, you'll want to grin. It's called the leaf scorpionfish. Yes, leaf, as in a dead, withered leaf. Because the one thing this fish is best at its whole life long is playing the part of a rotting leaf drifting through the water. It has an even more delightful scientific name, Taenianotus triacanthus, given to it over 200 years ago, back in 1802, by a French naturalist. And that name hides two little stories. The first part, Taenianotus, breaks down into band plus back, a band along the back, and it's describing the tall, long, sail-like fin that stands up along its spine. The second part, triacanthus, is even better. It means 3 spines, so it should have 3 mighty spines, right? Well, the gentleman who named it back then, it seems, miscounted. The truth is, on its cheek, it has only 2, and even those are faint. For over 200 years, the name 3-spined has hung on it, while the fish itself has only ever had 2. Its own name doesn't quite match the animal. Kind of funny, isn't it? But today's real headliner is the first word of its name, leaf. Just how good is this little fish at playing a dead leaf? Here, let me set up a little scenario, and you follow along with me. Imagine you're a grouper, hungry as anything, patrolling a coral reef, looking for something to eat. Just then, a little something drifts by on the current, a brown, slightly ragged, tattered dead leaf, rocking gently side to side, sinking slowly downward. What do? You probably don't even slow down, right? Because it's just a rotting leaf. Leaves aren't food. One flick of your tail and you've cruised right past. But let me tell you something. That leaf had been watching you the whole time. And in the very second you swam past it, that leaf, all on its own, was also hunting. Here's the twist. That was no leaf. That was the star of today's show, the leaf scorpionfish. And with one single trick, it fooled 2 completely different audiences at once. The big fish that wanted to eat it, and the little shrimp it wanted to eat. Saving its own life on one side, catching dinner on the other, all with the same costume. The leaf scorpionfish lives on warm coral reefs from the Indian Ocean across to the Pacific, in shallow reef water somewhere around 5 to 20 meters deep, usually in water about the warmth of a summer sea, 27-28 degrees. You'll find it across several kinds of reef habitat, flat reef tops, the outer reef slopes, and those reef channels where the current is forever rushing through. Every now and then, even on a calmer lagoon reef. That current-swept channel, where the water is always moving, hold that thought, because I've got a little musing to share with you later. Its whole body is only about 10 centimeters long. Picture that, about the length of a ballpoint pen in your hand. Today, I want to take a good long look at this little fish, because it's going to overturn everything you thought you knew about 2 things, hunting and hiding. All right, let's tackle the first question, and the one I find most brilliant. How exactly does it fool everyone?
You might think, oh, it looks like a leaf, so nobody can find it, like it's tucked itself into the background and vanished. Nope. There's a subtle but very important difference here, and I just want you to hold on to the feeling of it. No need to memorize any terms. The leaf scorpionfish isn't invisible. It's not that you can't find it. Quite the opposite. It's drifting right out there in the open, and anybody can find it. It plays a different game entirely. It lets you find it, and then your brain misidentifies it. Your brain says, oh, that's a leaf, not important, skip. You see the difference, don't you? I can't find you is one thing. I found you, but I thought you were something else is another thing entirely. Scientists call this trick of the leaf scorpionfishes a masquerade. It masquerades as something you'd never want to eat and never bother to worry about, a dead, withered, inedible leaf. This is one of the highest levels of camouflage in all of nature, because even while you're staring straight at it, it can still slip past. So here's the truth. What the leaf scorpionfish wants has never been, "you can't see me." It's, "you saw me and couldn't be bothered." Seen in full view, and it still walks away untouched. That's a smarter trick than being truly invisible, isn't it? So how does this costume of its get to be so convincing? For that, we have to talk about its whole body, and every single part of it is working for one job. I am a leaf. First, its body is flat to a ridiculous degree. It's squashed side to side, thin as a real leaf. And along its back stands a tall, big sail-like dorsal fin that runs all the way back and connects to the tail, so the whole outline of the fish joins into one single piece. There's no, here's the head, here's the body, here's the tail. It's just one complete, unbroken leaf edge.
Second, its skin isn't the smooth scales of an ordinary fish. Its whole body is covered in rough little prickles, like tiny bumps. What's that rough skin for? It makes the leaf scorpionfish look and feel like a dried-out, slightly coarse leaf. Third, and you have to hear this one, around its mouth grows a fringe of fine, whisker-like little skin flaps, and there's a dark diagonal line running across its eye. What are those doing? They're breaking up its fish face. Because the thing that gives a fish away fastest is that face, those two eyes. The leaf scorpionfish uses these flaps and that stripe to shatter the signal that says, "This is a face," and hide it away. Fourth, its color is a champion shapeshifter. Yellow, red, pink, brown, green, ochre. Some almost entirely black, some a ghostly, deathly white with blotches and mottling all over. Some people have observed that it may slowly tune itself toward the colors around it, though that's more of a guess and hasn't been solidly proven. What we can say for sure is that this fish's palate is wildly variable to begin with. Okay, so far this is all just looking like a leaf. But the most astonishing thing about the leaf scorpionfish is that it also acts. What does a leaf do in water? It gets pushed around by the current, rocking and swaying, drifting slowly down, right? The leaf scorpionfish performs exactly that. Using the muscles around its belly, it sways slowly, gently, side to side. It isn't swimming, it's imitating a leaf sinking through the water. And it performs with real craft. The speed and the width of the sway have to look just like a real leaf being nudged down by the current. Too fast, too regular, and the act falls apart. Think about it. A swimming fish and a dead leaf shoved along by the water move completely differently, right? The leaf scorpionfish fools you even on that. So its camouflage is shape plus color plus motion, all three together. And remember how I said it also turns up in those reef channels where the current is always rushing through? In a place where the water never stops moving, a leaf drifting past and sinking slowly is the most ordinary thing in the world. I can't help musing. For a fish pretending to be a fallen leaf, that kind of place is practically a natural stage. But let me say up front, that's only my musing. Nobody has actually studied whether the leaf scorpionfish picks moving water for the sake of its disguise, and a current channel is only one of several habitats it uses. Most animals' camouflage is dead, a coat that never moves. The leaf scorpionfish's camouflage is alive. It's a performance. And here's something even neater. That rough, prickly skin of its has a bonus effect. Real seaweed and a tiny creature called a hydroid will grow directly on its body.
Think about how wild that is. It started out masquerading as a leaf, and then real plants actually sprout on it. This fake leaf slowly grows real green fuzz. So in the end, it's not just that it looks like a living leafy leaf, it genuinely becomes a living leaf with things growing on it. But that brings up a problem. Think about it. What happens to a costume you wear for too long? It gets filthy. With algae all over it and little things stuck to it, over time, this leaf costume gets dirtier and shabbier. And a leaf that's too dirty and too old actually looks off, unnatural. So what does the leaf scorpionfish do? Its solution is going to surprise you. It sheds the whole layer of skin. Yes, you heard me. Like a snake, it takes its entire old skin, splits it open starting at the head, then peels it back along the body and tears the whole sheet off, revealing a brand new layer of skin underneath. And once it's finished, it'll often change color while it's at it. I call this a costume change. This fish, you see, is the most dedicated actor on the whole reef. The moment its costume gets dirty, it doesn't dab at it or rinse it. It rips the whole thing off and comes back on in a fresh one. So every time we get to its shedding today, I'm going to report to you the leaf costume, a fresh one, again. So how often does it change? Actually, wait, I have to hit the brakes here and be very honest with you.
You'll hear it said in a lot of places that it sheds twice a month, or every 10 to 14 days. Sounds precise, doesn't it? But when I chased the source all the way down, here's what I found. Those numbers almost all come from people watching fish in aquariums or jotted down in field guides. To this very day, not one scientist has formally, over the long term, measured how often the leaf scorpionfish actually sheds. In fact, the whole process of a wild leaf scorpionfish shedding out in the sea has barely ever been recorded in full. So I'm not going to thump my chest and promise you it definitely sheds twice a month. All I can honestly tell you is it does shed periodically. That part's real. But how often, we humans still haven't figured out. And I actually find that more interesting. A fish this famous, and we don't even have the answer to something this basic. So why go to all this trouble, shedding whole layers at a time? The answer was set up earlier. Remember how real algae, real hydroids grow on it? That's a good thing at first. It makes it look more like a leaf. But grow too much for too long, and this leaf costume gets dirty, old, and starts to blow its cover. So scientists suspect it sheds for the same reason a snake does. Dump the whole old skin, caked with algae and studded with parasites, and swap in a clean one, so the disguise stays sharp and the act holds up. The very things that made it more leaf-like end up forcing it to tear the whole thing off and start over on a schedule. Anyway, on comes another spotless, brand new leaf costume. Now, let me clear up a common misunderstanding on the fish's behalf. A lot of people think fish don't shed, that shedding is a snake thing, a lizard thing, a reptile thing. So a fish that sheds sounds bizarre, like some kind of freak. Actually, the truth is the exact opposite. Shedding a whole outer layer of skin is nothing rare in the animal kingdom. Reptiles and amphibians do it all the time. And did you know, some equally strange-looking relatives in the leaf scorpionfish's own family also shed, roughly every 12 days to 6 weeks, for exactly the same reason, to fling off the algae and parasites clinging to them. So for this kind of fish, the ones that loaf in the same spot all day and barely move, a regular shed is just routine maintenance, nothing strange about it at all. The leaf scorpionfish shedding is special, sure, but it's no freak. Right, we've covered hiding, so now let's talk about eating. And the way the leaf scorpionfish eats is going to overturn your whole image of a hunter. When you picture a fearsome hunter, who comes to mind? A cheetah? A shark? Right, fast and fierce, chasing and pouncing with speed. The leaf scorpionfish is the exact opposite. It's a sit-and-wait hunter. Most of the time, it just hangs there, dead still, among the seagrass or in a clump of algae. It's a total homebody, a loner that picks one corner and pretty much never leaves, able to stay in the same spot for a very, very long time. If the reef held a contest for the hunter least willing to move, the leaf scorpionfish would take the crown, no contest. So you're bound to ask, if it never moves, how on earth does it get fed? The key is that costume. Remember, even small shrimp and small fish think it's a leaf. So these little creatures come drifting right up to this leaf, bold and completely off guard. Dinner delivers itself. Then, the leaf scorpionfish uses its pectoral fins to inch itself closer, ever so slowly, bit by bit, until it's at just the right distance, and then, suddenly, it throws that big, wide mouth wide open. Remember I told you its head and mouth are both extra large? This is where that pays off. The instant that mouth snaps open, it creates a powerful suction, like a vacuum cleaner, or like you giving one sharp schlip through a straw. And that little shrimp, water and all, gets sucked straight in. The whole thing happens so suddenly that before you can even react, the prey is gone. What it usually eats is exactly these, small crustaceans like little shrimp, plus small fish and tiny fish larvae. And this temperament of its has driven a whole crowd of people up the wall. Some folks love its odd looks and want to keep it in a tank to admire, and end up tearing their hair out because you can drop dead, motionless food pellets in and it won't give them a second glance. It insists on something alive and wriggling, swimming up on its own before it'll strike. So in the aquarium world, it's filed under only experts should try. Even in a fish tank, it stubbornly sticks to its whole sit and wait for dinner to deliver itself routine.
Let me give you a number so you can feel just how good an eater it is. Scientists use a thing called a trophic level to mark how high up the food chain an animal stands. The bigger the number, the higher up the meat-eating ladder it is. The leaf scorpionfish's trophic level is about 4.1. What does that mean? That spot is roughly the same as plenty of fierce predatory fish many times its size. A fish only 10 centimeters long that barely moves all day stands that high on the food chain. So do you see where the leaf scorpionfish's genius lies? Its camouflage isn't only for hiding. The very same leaf costume on one side makes the big fish treat it like trash and grant it a free pass, and on the other side makes the little shrimp treat it like trash and deliver themselves right into its mouth. When we think of camouflage, we usually think timid, running away, hiding. But the leaf scorpionfish flips the whole thing over. Its camouflage is also its weapon. Okay, but there's a problem we haven't solved. What if a big fish really isn't scared and just goes to gulp this leaf down in one bite? Then what? The leaf scorpionfish has one last line of defense. Remember that mismatched 3 spines tucked into its name from the very start? Those were the 2 faint little spines on its cheek, but its truly deadly spines aren't on its cheek at all. They're on its fins. Do you know how many stiff spines it hides across its fins? On its back alone, there are a full 12, another 3 underneath, below its rump, and even that pair of fins on its belly carry spines too. And these aren't ordinary prickles. Inside, they're venomous. Every spine has a groove running along it, connected beside it to tissue that secretes venom. The instant it stabs into a predator's mouth or body, the venom flows out along that groove, causing excruciating pain, making them hurt so much they hurry to spit it out and let it go, buying it those few precious seconds to escape. So do you see? This little fish is fitted with 2 completely separate systems. One is a silent vacuum cleaner, purely for catching its meals. The other is a venomous needle, purely for not becoming somebody else's meal. One is a spear, one is a shield, each doing its own job, never mixed up. Pretty clever, isn't it? And I want to downgrade its venom a little too, so you don't get too nervous. Compared with its far more famous relatives, the lionfish, the stonefish, the leaf scorpionfish's venom is actually much weaker. It isn't trying to do anyone in, it just wants to say, hey, please don't eat me, you'll really regret it. Alright, by this point, you probably feel like we've got the leaf scorpionfish all figured out, don't you? It masquerades as a leaf, it sheds its skin, it sits and waits for prey, it packs venom. Feels like we know it all. But actually, this is the one thing I most wanted to tell you today. When it comes to this very famous little fish, how much we humans don't know is far, far greater than you'd think. A few examples. I just told you it's venomous,
But that venom, what exactly is it made of? Which molecules? To this day, almost nobody knows. Because the venom of this whole group of fish is hard to collect and quick to spoil, so there's little research to begin with. And for the leaf scorpionfish in particular, it's a total blank. Next, how does it have its young? We only assume it goes like this from observation. The mother releases her eggs straight into the seawater, the father then fertilizes them, and these eggs, along with the baby fish that hatch, all float, drifting off with the currents to grow up somewhere far away. But this whole account still hasn't been confirmed by solid research. And how long does it actually live? We don't know that either. And here's another. It's the only species in its entire genus, one of a kind, the single model of its type in the whole world, with no brothers or sisters. Yet even where it sits in the great fish family tree, who its closest kin are, nobody has properly pinned that down with its genes. Even that shedding I told you about, how often and how it plays out in the wild, is still a mystery to this day.
Don't you find that remarkable? A starfish that turns up in ocean documentary after documentary, praised as a master of disguise, and its most basic facts, what the venom is made of, how it breathes, how long it lives, we still can't answer. But let me add a bit of good news so you don't end up worrying about it. Even with so many of its basics still blank, there's one thing we're sure of. This fish is doing just fine right now. On the world's conservation list, it's rated least concern, in no danger with no risk of vanishing. Scientists also reckon its resilience is high. Even if its population takes a hit, at the fastest, it can double itself back in under 15 months. The only thing that leaves me a little uneasy is that it spends almost its whole life glued to the same patch of coral reef and never leaves. So if the reef ever collapses, it'll likely struggle right along with it. And guess what? Even that, to this day, nobody has studied specifically for this fish. One more question mark we can only mark suspected. So, to wrap up, I want to leave you with this. The leaf scorpionfish, a fish only 10 centimeters long. It didn't choose to get faster, it didn't choose to get bigger, it even chose to barely move at all. It staked everything it has on one thing, becoming a lie convincing enough, so convincing that both the enemy that wants to eat it and the dinner it wants to eat believe it at the very same time.
It reminds me of something. We so often assume that hiding, pretending, keeping quiet are things only the timid, only the weak do. But the leaf scorpionfish isn't. It took hiding and attacking, two things that look like opposites, and with one single leaf folded them beautifully into one. And it's meticulous about it. Costume gets dirty, tear the whole thing off, on with a fresh one. You know how it goes. The leaf costume, a fresh one again, always kept in top condition. And so it goes on, quiet as anything, hanging on some patch of coral reef you and I may never once set foot near, rocking gently side to side, still performing that one play of its, the play that never takes its final bow. I'm Dr. Gray Parrot. I'll see you next time. Next time, the Animal Truth Lab investigates a master forger hiding in a Southeast Asian rainforest. It doesn't just make itself look exactly like a leaf, it forges the flaws too. The chewed out holes, the sickly yellow blotches, all fake makeup painted on since the day it hatched. Poke it and it won't run. It just sways gently, like something caught in a passing breeze. Even its babies start as a single counterfeit seed. So, who is it? Want the answer? Hit like, subscribe so you don't miss it, and share it with your best friend. I'm Dr. Gray Parrot. Thanks for coming to the Animal Truth Lab. See you next time. Bye-bye.